Hello there. I'm going to be doing a quick overview of Kigiri here. Um, or Kigiri, or I'm just going to call him Kigi, because that's what I end up calling him most of the time anyways. Uh, I'm still undecided on a few places where he might see some use. The only really important thing is that he is phenomenal at Guild Boss 2, just because of this last part of his talent. Um, And to somewhat point this out a little bit more, my run was... I'm not super happy with my run this week. Uh, I ended up failing for a bunch of different reasons to push further than what I did, but he was doing a quite reasonable amount of damage, all things considered. This is max skilled, but this is also a zero in a shell of a nightmare team, so there's only 3 units here. And he was probably... yeah, he was the second placed. Um, So I'm tentative to say that he could be interesting in some. Again, I stress tentative. He could be interesting in some GVG comps just because this is actually a fair amount of damage. Um, but there's no real way of knowing that until we get some more testing done on this. Uh, he doesn't have any phenomenal effects in his kit. So besides some overall general PvE content, GB2, and maybe some use in Arena or GVG. I'm not entirely sure. I guess we'll see when the meta settles. Um, that being said, you're almost definitely going to want to gear him in Soulbound Arcana, just because his sweeping strikes. I tested this with Volca on Guild Boss, do not count for the purposes of Infernal Roar. Um, this artifact is somewhat deceptive. It's going to be good for longer term fights, and even then, it's not necessarily great because the way I read this is this increased damage dealt will not apply to that first strike he does with the sweeping strike or ember strike. So it's possibly not worth the effort. And he may be better off with a rub tier, which actually could be incredibly interesting if he hits at max range. Um, or really just kind of any of the ones that provide damage percent buffs if you're sure that he's not going to take damage. Frigid Flame is probably the best option. In terms of Awakenings, this is an exclusive. So, bottom line is, I probably wouldn't go for much in terms of Awakenings. His real value is just that cleanse. And we don't know where he's going to be good yet. He may have some interesting applications, but the amount of pulls are probably enough to do the interesting ones, which are 3 and yeah, arguably 4 and 5, are pretty much massive. So unless you're a whale that really just wants a samurai, I probably wouldn't go too hard on Awakenings and just wait until the next time he comes around as an exclusive banner and make up your mind a bit more then. Uh, I don't think we're going to see a case like Honora where he will break the game. Well, I say break the game, but just become a very meta unit in GVG or certain other aspects of the game. But I could be wrong on this, so I personally am not going to go for more than one. That's about it. Cheers. You have a nice one.